Hello class, this is going to be a video on angle relationships in parallel line. Let's get straight into it. We're going to be covering 4 different things: parallel lines, corresponding angles, alternate angles, and co-interior angles. So first we want to learn what a parallel line is. So I'm going to show you what a parallel line is first by drawing it. There we go. These are parallel lines. And so what parallel, let's label these lines here. So this is line A, B, this is line C, D. And these two lines are parallel because if we were to extend the lines on either side and just keep extending on either end, can you see that no matter how long we make them, these lines will never intersect? So we'll say parallel line are two, I put in brackets, or more lines that will never intersect. And in case you don't know, when in mathematics when they say intersect, it means they will never meet or touch or cross each other. Kind of like an intersection at the road. An intersection is called that because the roads intersect with another. So these two lines, line AB and line CD, are parallel. And in mathematics we have a notation for that, and it's written as follows. We have AB, so we have some line AB, and the symbol for parallel are two vertical lines like that. AB is parallel to CD. And if we were to read that, if we were to interpret that, it means we have some line, this is line AB, and this little bit here means is parallel to line CD. So we have two lines, line AB, line CD, and they are parallel. And finally, all parallel lines must have two little arrows like that, pointing in the same direction. That means these two lines are parallel lines when they have these arrows. I'll show you a few more examples just in case we don't quite understand yet. So I'm going to turn it over this way. We can have a parallel line go like this. And then we'll make the arrow go down this way this time, because why not? We'll label them W, X, Y, and Z. And we have the lines W, X is parallel to Y, Z. And if you don't want to use a ruler, you want to get as close as you can to a parallel line, so we'll make it go this way this time. Had a lot of practice. And sometimes you may have double lines like this. Double arrows. That means these two lines with double arrows are parallel. Let's label this P, Q, R, S. And in this set of lines, we have lines P, Q is parallel to R, S. So that is parallel lines. Now you're wondering, how is there any angle relationships here? There are no angles other than the 180 degrees on each line. But we're gonna go on to, on this, we're gonna go on to what makes angles on parallel lines. Hang on. So now let's draw a very neat parallel line here. I'm gonna make it as flat as I can with the page. There we are. Have a little bit of room there. Let's just label this. We can pick whatever letters we want. I'll keep it nice and simple. We'll line A, B, and C, D. So we now know that this is AB is parallel to CD. We can see that there. It's very clearly shown. And now I'm going to draw a special line that will create our angles. It looks like this. Don't want to smudge it. And that line going through, we'll label that line WZ. And line WZ is called, so WZ is a transversal line. It's short form, we can just shorten it to WZ is a transverse. And a transversal line is any line that intersects both or more, because remember we can have more parallel lines going across, both or more parallel lines. So in case, oh, oops, I forgot these. Draw little arrows there. There's our parallel lines. So by that I mean we could have, for example, I'll just draw real quickly, parallel lines like this. We could have a transversal line. Oh, sorry, no. We could have a line that does this. Okay, that is not a transverse line because it doesn't cut through both of them. One line, it's actually two lines. We have one line here, another line there. That is not a transversal. A transversal must cut both continuously. So put a little big X here. Not a transversal. And the reason why we're drawing the transversal is because now there is angles. Oh, sorry, there are angles. Can you see them? There are 8. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 angles now found on a basic pair of parallel lines. So let's look at the relationships that they make. So the first one we're going to look into is corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. And you'll see in a moment why I'm writing this. And corresponding angles, the main thing you need to know, corresponding angles are equal. And the main shape I want you to remember for a corresponding angle, or corresponding angles, is the letter F. letter F, capital letter F. And I'll show you why in a bit. So I'm going to draw, once again, some more parallel lines. Here we are. Make sure that's dry. And I'll draw my transversal like, good old transversal like that. And can you see the letter F onto this parallel line here? Here, I'll dot it out for you. There it is. See that? Oops, missed the F. Can you see that F there? Here, I'll black it all the way out. How about that? How about now? We can see it, can't we? And in the F, we're looking at the underneath it there. So can you see those dots? That one there, and that one there. Those two angles are corresponding angles. And they're equal to each other. So that is corresponding angle. So for example, if I were to draw my parallel lines, I'll make it a little bit different so you can get your perspective on it a little bit better. If I drew it like this, so there's my parallel lines, and I draw my transversal going this way. Can you see the corresponding angles? Well, first we can draw the F. It looks something like this. Did you see that? There's our F, and it's underneath there. So let's say, for all time's sake, let's say this angle here, let's say that is 55 degrees. Well, if that's 55 degrees, this one is also 55 degrees because they are equal, they're corresponding. And it's not just going forward, we can get a backward F. So I'm going to draw another F going in a different direction just so we can get our perspective going well. Here, our sense of perception a little bit better. So there's my parallel lines. I'm going to make my transversal go this way. Can you see the corresponding angle to this? I'm going to mark it for you. That there is, let's just say that's 105 degrees. Where is the corresponding angle to this one? Can you see the letter F? It's backward. It's like that. It's going to be underneath. So that there is also 105 because they are corresponding angles. Okay, and we can also do it upside down. We'll do one more, and I'll just make it go this way, because why not? Make this one a little bit easier. There's our parallel lines. And let's say I mark this angle here, that one looks about, let's say it's 100 degrees. Where is the corresponding angle to this one? Can you see it? Is it this one? Is it this one? This one or this one? So is it number 1? Is it number 2, number 3, or number 4? Well, I hope you see it because there's an upside down F going like this. That one there is corresponding. That one there is 100 degrees. And there's one more going this way. Which, by the way, if that were 100, this here must be 80. Well, if that's 80, number 1 must also be 80 degrees because they are also corresponding in the backwards direction. They're facing the other way. So that's corresponding angles. Let's move on to alternate angles. Two alternate angles. Alternate angles. And alternate angles are also equal. And the letter I want you to remember for this is the letter Z or Z, depending on how you pronounce it. Z or Z. And the position I need you to remember is the ones inside there. I'll show you in a moment what I mean. Let's draw our parallel lines. Here we go. One there. One there. And we'll make it go. We'll make our transverse line go this way. And just to show you where it lies, there's the Z or the Z. It goes like that. It goes like that. There it is. That's the Z. And these angles underneath them, or inside, are equal. So, for example, if that was 70 degrees, well, this angle here is also 70 degrees. Interestingly enough, there's also another set. It's on the back side of the Z, so it's that one on the right hand side and this one on the left hand side. So, well, let's just do a little bit more math here. If that's 70 and that's a straight line, these two angles must be supplementary. If that's 70, this angle here must be 110. And it may not look like a Z, it's a bit like an S. Can you see it? This one here is also 110. That's also an alternate angle. I'll show you what I mean in my next example. So I'm going to draw another set of parallel lines, one like that, one like that, and we'll make it go this way. Can you see the letter Z? It's a bit weird, so I'm going to mark this angle here. That looks like, let's say that's 120 degrees. Where is the alternate angle to that? So let's draw our weird looking Z or Z like that. It may not look entirely like a Z or a Z, but it's there. Can you see it? There it is. There it is. So if that's 120, this one here must also be 120. And look, if that's 120, the one across, this is supplementary, this has to be 60 degrees. It's getting a little bit tight there, that's 60 degrees. Well, if that's 60, the alternate angle to that one is this one. That's also 60 degrees here. I'll draw one more example. We'll make it vertical this time. That way, it's really messing up with your perception. It may look like 90, but I'm going to say that this one here is 85. That one there is, yeah, that's 85 degrees. Where is the alternate angle to this one? Well, let's draw our backward Z. So take a look, we'll put it onto the side. You see this backward Z here? It's a little bit backward there. So see that? It's kind of like this one. So if that's 85, this one here must also be 85 degrees. Point an arrow there. And these are alternate angles. The letter Z or Z. Corresponding angles is the F. We have one more, and it's called the co-interior angles. 3 co-interior angles. And now, these two are equal. Co-interior angles are not equal. Co-interiors are supplementary. And the letter I want you to remember for this is the letter C, forward and backwards. So by that it can look like this, or it might look like this. But the point is, it's these two angles on the inside. So it's this one, X and dot. And for this pair, we'll make it square and triangle. So those two are co-interior angles. Letter C. In this one, we need some numbers. So I'm going to draw my parallel lines. There we are. So for example, if I told you that this angle here is 105 degrees, what is the value of this letter here? X degrees. So remember, X can mean something. We just don't know what it is. But since we know they are co-interior, because look, they are co-interior. See that? Got that letter C going on there. So since we know they are co-interior, we can answer this question by saying 105 plus X degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Well then, what do we need to add to get to 180? Well, we can just subtract 180 by 105. So it's going to be X degrees equals 180 minus 105. So it's going to be 85 minus 5. That's going to be 75 degrees. So this value here is actually 75 degrees because they are supplementary angles. They add up to 80 degrees. We'll do one more. One final one. We'll do a set of parallel lines going vertically this time. Like that. Just to really trip you out, we'll make it go that way. There's our parallel lines. Ooh, I've been forgetting to do that for this. Whoops. I'll just add them in now really quickly. Parallel, parallel. That's parallel. So if I told you now that this angle here is 75 degrees, I just gave the answer because it's right here. Let's just say it's 65 degrees instead. Focused? Yes, the camera's in focus. 65 degrees. What value is this one here? X degrees. Well, once again, can you see the co-interior angles? Can you see the letter C? If you tilt it this way, it's backward. Can you see that? Letter C. So because we know that, we can say 65 degrees plus X degrees equals 180. Well, X is equal to, that's 120, 100. I was going to do it here. 180 minus 65. It's going to be 7, 5, 15. 150. That's 115 degrees. So these are the angle relationships in parallel lines.